now that we know some things, we let love give us wings. It's the key, it's free, it's for you and me, you and me. So let's discover love's great wonder. Let's discover love's great wonder. Let's discover the spell we are under. Love. Love. With Mililli. Love. Hello. I'm Merlin Mililli. Welcome to the Love Show, where we grapple with the question, what is love? Today's show asks, is rose quartz love? I've been a rock hound since I was a small child. I had a huge rock collection growing up. My parents could go places without me and bring me back just some rocks from where they went, and I was dazzled. I kept my rock collection in this big pink bucket that had been an Easter basket. But of all the rocks I collected, I always loved the rose quartz best. Even when I was a tomboy and I hated pink, even when I was a teenager, wearing all black and writing poetry and listening to punk, and I hated pink, still rose quartz was my favorite. I mean, what else can you put atop a mud pie but a piece of rose quartz? Am I right? Come on, who else made mud pies? I totally made mud pies, and they all had to have a piece of rose quartz right in the middle center to make it pretty. Anyway, but I was raised Catholic, but I always had other ideas. Now, in my adult life, I consider myself a druid. I know. To some, it sounds crazy. They say there aren't any more druids. But the thing is, the druids were firm believers in reincarnation. That was one of my differing ideas from Catholicism. I firmly believed in reincarnation because I had memories and dreams from other times and places. And they were very vivid to me, and they were vivid to me as a child. So the belief in reincarnation was one of the things that drew me to the druids. Another thing was the stones. Stonehenge in particular. Those are some serious stones. Stones that should be taken seriously. Those are blue stones, though, not rose quartz. But because of the blue stones, my fascination with stones and the Druids' fascination with stones kept drawing me more and more towards the Druids. I was on a quest to find out what my true religion was. Since I knew it wasn't Catholicism, I knew this because of the reincarnation thing, but also because, well, I wanted to be a nun at one point, and I told my church, and but I wanted to give the mass. I wanted to hold ceremony, and they panicked. and they said, well, nuns don't say the mass, priests do. I was like, why not? I was shocked. And they said, because they are women. So I knew, they knew, and when I told my church that I didn't want to be a nun anymore, they wiped their brows. Whew, that was a close one. They were glad I didn't want to be a nun anymore. So I knew I wasn't even Catholic, though, as a young child. So I tried Tibetan Buddhism, I tried Taoism, I tried paganism, I tried Celtic paganism, etc., etc., etc. Mostly I chose religions that believed in reincarnation to look into. But I had this strong sense of the goddess and the sacred feminine that I just did not feel was being addressed in Buddhism. Then, at the time, there were only a few female monks. So most of these other religions weren't addressing the goddess that I knew was there in my heart. She was very plain to me, plain as day, as plain as this rock. Rose quartz. Remember rose quartz? It's a show about rose quartz. So, I studied what the Druids studied, and if I couldn't find books, I studied crystals by myself. I just would study the crystal and the different properties and how it reacted to me, how I reacted to it. And I made notes and mental notes and actual notes, and I had notes. But I also studied the stars and the planets and the earth and her plants and animals and the human body and its systems. And I studied multiple religions also before I found out I was a Druid, and only to end up finding out that that was part of being a Druid. It's about respecting and learning to tolerate other faiths. It's a big part of Druidry, and I learned exactly what I was supposed to. So it was the same with the stones and the plants and the animals and the cosmos too. I was supposed to be studying those things, so it was part of my practice. So I get frustrated with the current tone in regard to crystals and druids, really, but people say it's new age, blah, blah, blah. Okay, folks, it's got to the point that the age is here. We are in it. It's no longer made up. It's here. It's a cosmic thing. We've moved into our golden age, the age of Aquarius. In the great year, I've talked about the great year before on the Love Show, and it's here. Keep up, people. So, it's here, and it's no longer new. It's the golden age. So please refer to us as golden agers now. Crystals work. There is a very tiny quartz crystal inside inside the device you're watching this on. There's a quartz crystal that operates every radio device. That's radios, yes, but also cell phones, computers, microwaves, TVs, the list goes on. So I would like to take a moment to take crystals seriously, please. Because my phone does not work on the placebo effect. Stop with this, oh, I'm going to burn some incense and smother myself in essential oils. Okay, is it better to frack some oil and smother yourself in alcohol while wearing dead things? Is that better? I don't think that's better. I mean, who are these incense burning people hurting? And why does everyone give them so much shizzle? I mean, they're not hurting anyone. They actually are aware of their cosmic surroundings. Are you? Did you know about the great year? Not. Look it up. Learn about it. It's important to know your surroundings and what's going on. It's like looking at a map of where you are. So rose quartz. Remember rose quartz? It's a show about rose quartz. So in my research for this show, I found articles. A lot of articles, actually. The folks at Good Vibe blog say rose quartz is the crystal of peace and unconditional love. It opens the heart, teaching the true healing of love, true meaning of love, and brings deep healing and self-love. Okay, so I had never heard of Good Vibe blog. Maybe you have. But the article was written by Alexandria Barker. She is a crystal therapist, Reiki master, and yoga teacher, as well as an LOA coach, author, and speaker. I'm just guessing, but I believe LOA stands for Law of Attraction or Laws of Attraction. Like The Secret. You heard about the books and the videos on The Secret. It's a big deal if you years back. Anyway, I found a ton of other articles. Stylecaster had an article. I tried rose quartz rituals to improve my love life, and it worked. Literally, that's the title of the article by Hannah Hickok. Rose Quartz, the Love Crystal, is a video here on YouTube by Energy Muse. Rose Quartz, the Love Stone, is another video on YouTube by Angel Souls. There were a lot of articles and videos, but they were from sources I had never personally heard of. So I looked up Psychology Today's take on rose quartz. And I've quoted them before in other love shows, Psychology Today. So I wanted to see what they thought. And I was surprised to learn that they spoke of rose quartz having a placebo effect. I did not care for their take on this particular subject and felt they were among the folks making fun of the New Agers. Well, shame on you, smart PhD holders at Psychology Today. Even though your advice was to just let me have my crazy rock collection, if it makes me happy. Okay, fine. You let us have our rocks. Good, but we are not crazy. We are not crazy. Are you going to tell all the folks in Silicon Valley that their little crystals running things are crazy? Maybe, but these folks are maniacally laughing all the way to the bank. And their crazy crystals are running everything. So, let's take these things a little more seriously, please. Just a little more seriously. Because this is a serious stone. But is it love? Is rose quartz love? The people at Psychology Today think that if you think so, it's okay. But like Buddhism, that's not enough for me. I've used rose quartz for some serious healing. I had 2 C-sections back to back, 11 months apart, for the birth of both of my girls. I used to wrap a piece of raw rose quartz into my bandages. This one, no, I don't think it was this one. It's a different one. But still, it worked. It worked wonders. I had a book years ago called Good Magic by Marina Medici. I like that book. She recommended rose quartz for all healing medicine. I don't think we are looking for the path to healing. I think the path is healing. And one must stop along the path to pick up a stone. You have to stop to pick up a stone. And one must also stop to receive a blessing or give a blessing. Reference. Is reference love? Another love show, perhaps. nonetheless, one of the best stones to pick up on the path of healing is rose quartz. The stone of healing. The stone of femininity. The stone of love. Is love rose quartz? Yes. Love is rose quartz. I would say that I certainly take it more seriously for healing than morphine. Opiates do not heal. They numb. Numb and healed are not synonymous. Rose quartz heals. I use it regularly because we are all in a state of healing. So I often go by the mother, Merlin, Mililli. And someone asked me, what gives you that distinction? And I answered simply, my 3 children. Which they do, but I have yet to publicly explain that by my own studies this lifetime, I was a Druid high priestess by the time I was 21. Now, in my 40s, I continue to study, and I do have 3 children, but I continue to study rocks and plants and stars and planets and the cosmos. But before I had children, I had hippies. I have fed millions of them for free. Over the years, hippies tend to gather in large groups. I ran a kitchen in 1999 at Yasgur's farm in upstate New York. Excuse me. My song Rooster Toilet Paper is a true story about my experience there running the kitchen. I made a trade. A rooster for some toilet paper. Because I had just come from running what ended up being the main kitchen at the 1999 National Rainbow Gathering, where I fed thousands of people every day for free. It was intense. By cooking over a fire to boot, so it was hot and intense. No pun intended on the intense, but we were camping intense. I fed George Clinton from the Parliament Funkadelic there. At first I thought George was a hallucination in his rainbow dreadies. But there's pictures of him at our kitchen in the Allegheny National Forest with the big blue tarp. A shout out to the Share folks, without whom Share Kitchen would not have been possible, and to George Clinton. Excuse me. I'm coughing. Shout out. We love you. If you guys wondered what happened to me, here I am in California making shows about love and music. I've been making music. It's been 20 years since 1999 now. Wow, that was a great summer. It really was. Whew. Well, except the burning and pillaging business. We also went to that, my now husband and I. That place needed some rose quartz. I ran the kitchen in Bethel, though, not at the burning and pillaging one. But we did go to the burning and pillaging one. That one wasn't such a good time. But the rest of the summer was great. And because I fed so many people for so many years, my children, well, noticed. And my children said, well, they suggested that I go by Mother. They said, like Mother Teresa, because you feed people. So who could argue with that? So I still stand by the answer. My 3 children gives me the distinction to be the mother, Merlin, Mililli. But also I'm mother for feeding people. I'm mother for being a mom. Mother for being a Druid mother, Merlin. The Merlin is a reference to Druidry. Are our children love? Tune in next week on your quartz crystal to find out. In the meantime, love is rose quartz. Love